But let's talk about these cameras, okay? So Pixel 6a last year played it super safe with the cameras because it used the same 12 megapixel sensor from the previous 4 years of Pixels in a row. That infamous IMX 363 sensor that did so well. This one has a brand new 64 megapixel main camera paired with a 13 megapixel ultra wide and a 13 megapixel selfie camera. So when I first started testing it, I'm thinking, all right, will this new sensor keep up with the old tried and true Pixel 6a? Because we all know how good those old cameras were. But pretty quickly it became clear that Google has done the work to tighten up the processing with the new sensor and actually sort of match it this time and take advantage of the actual larger sensor. So it's not just about the megapixel count. Matter of fact, this 64 megapixel sensor bins down to 16 megapixels by default every time, and there's no way in Google's app to take full 64 megapixel photos. But it's more about the larger size of the sensor, which can bring in more light and give a more shallow, natural depth of field. So yeah, Pixel photos look pretty good for a $500 phone. There are tons of dynamic range without being too HDR-y, and it actually kind of feels like they've evened it out a little bit, so it's a little less contrasty, but it still has that famous contrasty Pixel look. And then that f1.9 max aperture combined with the new sensor means you can take close-ups of things and have a really shallow depth of field, and you can take better low-light photos with faster shutter speeds at night with night sight. There is no macro mode, I noticed, but you can get pretty close up, probably, I'm gonna say 5 inches away from the subject and still be fine, not too much fringing.